level, fighting rebel titan, we smoking alchemist.
Hip-hop is thought I was gone, but I'm back again to shut a dumb nigga mouth like I'm Jeremy Lin. Realize that
What's up, fuckheads? Tommy C here. Listen, guys, this is a fuckhead call to arms. You know how Real Talk from the Metaphor Messiah supports us right here on Shop from the Point. I'm calling on you to support him. On March 16th of 2018, Kingslayer turned King by Real Talk the Metaphor Messiah. Only $6.93 on Amazon comes out and other platforms that'll be listed in the description box below. Guys, I've got this record already. It's by far his best work, and I would appreciate it if you would go pick it up as well. It comes out on March 16th, only $6.93. I'm Tommy C, and we're all here to support Real Talk the Metaphor Messiah. Pick it up right now. You're hearing one of the best cuts off of it, and there's much, much more. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most fantastic broadcast all of the land, ladies and gentlemen. I am Radio Z, and I'm here with Willie One, up-and-coming YouTube commentator. It's going to be a part of a series that I'm doing basically from the new breed. I think we need some new breed, and I think it's I've done it before with some other commentators, and we're going to basically talk about the politics of YouTube, some of Willie One's videos, and it'll take some calls, and we'll fuck off. Willie One, welcome to the program. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you letting me on.
Yes, the first thing I notice about you is you're very prim and proper. Did your parents beat you?
No.
Yes, I think they did.
Yeah, no, I guess,
are you Asian?
No, well, South Asian.
South Asian. They beat you. They beat you. They beat you.
My dad was...
What is your grade point average, sir? What is your grade point average?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I don't want to brag, so I think I'll pass on that one.
Ah, come on. I told you could pass on anyone. That one I should have been able to pass on. You have a good grade point average, and I'm the most racist fuck in the world. Isn't that funny that you're racist? When you're Asian, you're like, hey, you're one of the smart kids. Like, hey, that's fucked up, you know? It's like a stereotype. It's like having a big dick if you're black, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, welcome to the program. I really do appreciate it. We're going to talk about, like you said, a lot of YouTube stuff and, you know, stuff that I'm interested in. And, you know, I definitely want to see, I definitely want to see some of the new guys get some, you know, I'm sick of, last year I saw two, Cabos and Tobes. They really hit their stride. Tobes had a pretty good following before, and they kind of hit the wreck. But when are you guys going to get in the recommended? And I think that's my first question I'm going to start off with. What happens, you wake up tomorrow, and you got 10,000 plus? How do you handle it?
Well, you have to sort of look at the subscriber count as sort of an indication that people are seeing your content. And I remember when I saw, like, the first video that I had that actually got a good amount of views was the Genius of Jack's films. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really think, and that took about a day. So at first I was looking at the views, and I was like, I have maybe 2,000 views. I don't even think it was that many. It was basically all from Reddit. That was the first place that I posted. Mm-hmm. And I looked at that and I was like, I guess it's just not really connecting with people. And then about a day later, I just saw, like, I think the next day I got like 100,000 views in a day. Bang, and I just saw them coming in more and more. And I realized that they were going into the recommended because, like, it was kind of like it was almost like a perfect storm. I was looking at Jack's Films was uploading very regularly. He doesn't tend to upload so much, or he still uploads frequently, but he's uploading like every other day. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at it, and I was like, this is exactly the type of video that a Jack's Films fan would want to see. Mm-hmm. So you have to sort of recognize what you did right there. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I did with the Wild Spartans video. Mm-hmm. It was the other direction. Like, the Jack's Films video was more or less praising him, more or less sort of talking about the things that he was doing right. The Wild Spartans video was on the other end. So it was sort of like, I recognized the type of, like, the thumbnail, the description, the title, the types of things that are going to show up especially if it's a longer video. If it's a longer video than the YouTuber themselves actually uploads, making a video with another YouTuber. This is something that CinemaSins is doing themselves, where they'll make a long video on like a movie or something like that, oftentimes longer than the trailer itself. You get up to the top of the search of the when you search up the title of the movie, for example, you will show up at the very top. So it's kind of like you're never going to be able to know the algorithm, but there are certain things that just work better.
Does it bother you sometimes that I don't know if it bothers me, but it is, you know, I heard PewDiePie say before, it's more important your title and thumbnail than it is anything else in your content. He even said some of his worst content had great thumbnails, and some of his best content got under the views that he wants. Does it bother you that at the end of the day, it's a bit of a math game?
It kind of does. It does feel kind of degrading just to be reduced down to like this very basic information, like just text and pictures.
And there's no other way to do it. It's not like it's unfair in a sense. There's no other way to do it.
The fact that you can make a video that you spend maybe like 20 hours on, and based on a bad title or just a title that doesn't really connect with a lot of people, it's just not going to do as well. And it's frustrating, but you sort of have to recognize that those are the types of videos that people are going to go back to once they've actually subscribed to you. Once they actually have a reason to watch your videos, they're going to go back to those videos and they're going to say, hey, he clearly spent a lot of work on this video. I'm glad that he's not just making videos on topics that he knows are going to get recognition.
Do you think now your video is Wild Smartans, and you were, I gotta be honest, I like the guy. I know him a little bit. I know him a little bit. I generally like Brandon as a person. I generally believe that he gets way more criticism than he deserves. I think he's an easy target sometimes. But one of the things that I learned about him in a Dead on Dave interview is he does look at this very mathematically, and no one can deny his success. You may have issues with his content and what have you, and I'm not going to jump on you any of your criticisms. But is there really anything wrong with the way he goes about it? At the end of the day, I mean, are these criticisms even pointless? I mean, you have to get on the map to begin with, and somebody his age, you can kind of come along after a while.
Well, he's been on the map for a while, and he was blowing up. I think a couple months ago, he was getting like, I think maybe like thousands of just subscribers every day. So I did want to hold off on making, like, I was looking at his videos. I was preparing, like, I had this like Word document where I was putting down like criticisms I had of his videos, and I said, I started this in November, and I said, if he hasn't really improved significantly, then I'm going to make this video. And it was less about just Wild Spartans. Obviously, I had to sort of start somewhere.
You didn't do too many personal attacks. It was really I mean, yeah, you got a fat joke in, but I mean, geez, who cares about that?
What are you going to do? I mean, he makes them himself.
It was really, it was really like, this is the way you go about it, and this is, and it was 18 minutes. It was
a long video,
and it's going to get you a little tension, extra tension, as far as, because he is a big punching bag in a lot of sense. But like, again, like, is there a problem with going about it that way and getting mathematical about it? I mean, this is a guy that said, I'm going to have 100K by the time I graduate high school, and he did it beforehand, which, by the way, impresses me. Despite his contact, I like that hustle. I like that. I like that attitude. I like the way he looks at it. That does not mean his content's above reproach, but I mean, is there anything wrong with looking at it in that mathematical way, being ultra sensitive to the algorithm?
I don't think there's anything wrong with really trying to, like, I agree. It is 100% respectable that he really put in the effort. I mean, the one thing that I'm not going to say is that he didn't spend hours on his videos. But when you're spending hours on your videos, you have to think about, what am I spending that time doing? Am I spending that time just like finding any horrible video I can and making some kind of sort of half-baked criticisms about these? Or am I actually trying to accomplish something here? Is there actually a point to what I'm doing? And when it comes to making, using a mathematical approach, as you said, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's what you have to do it. Like, in fact, if you don't use clickbait in your titles, if you don't use thumbnails, or you don't talk about topics that people are going to really connect to, it's going to take a lot longer for you to gain a lot of subscribers, or it's just not going to happen at all. So there, you do need to have sort of a balance here, but the balance does not mean that you just focus on, you can't just hide behind that. You can't just say, well, this is my job, I need to make money, I need to talk about these topics, otherwise I'm not going to get any subscribers. You have to understand, why are you doing this in the first place? Why are you doing YouTube in the first place? Is it to just get attention? Is it just to get subscribers? Or is it because you find a topic that you find interesting and you think you can talk about it in a way that a lot of people are going to appreciate?
I want a sub count. Is there anything wrong with that statement? I want a highest sub count that I could possibly obtain with the talent that God gave me. Is there anything wrong with looking at it that way? I'm not saying that's the way he looks at it. I want subs. I want attention. I want this. And it surprises me that more YouTubers don't talk in that manner. It's almost like sinful to say that you want to get paid for your work. It's almost like this,
right.
And I notice a lot of, and I'm not saying this about you, I notice a lot of the criticisms for guys that do things that way. It does come off as a bit elitist. Like, well, you're not doing it for the right reasons. Well, what are the right reasons to you? My question to you is, what are the right reasons to YouTube?
Well, when I started making my channel, I was thinking about it, and I know a lot of people always say you should only make videos that you yourself want to see. But then why upload them to YouTube? Why upload videos to YouTube if only you are the one who appreciates the type of content that you're making? I guess the right approach when you're making YouTube videos would be to say, just make whatever you want to make, but also do it in a way that's going to be entertaining to other people, because you are an entertainer. It's like every video that you see on YouTube fits in roughly into the entertainment category. People go on YouTube, they want to find something. Like they come from all sort of different contexts where they're like, I want to just relax. I've just had a hard day's work, or I was in class for 12 hours today, and I need to sit back and I need to relax and I need to be entertained by something. And whether that's like a let's play or a commentary video, or it's it could be anything like a tutorial. There's so much there that that people are going to be able to, that people would like, but there's not really one good way to approach it, I guess.
Is there only a way to approach it where you, like, because the other guys I don't like are the guys that approach it in such a manner, and they tend to have low sub counts,
right.
in almost an elitist manner. I will not use clickbait, and I will not do this, and I will not do this, and it turns into like, it turns into things. Well, you know, I mean, if you're gonna play the game, play the freaking game.
Exactly, exactly.
But I think I get what you're saying. Is there is a balance? I mean, you can't. Like you almost like have respect capital, and you can spend it a little bit on a clickbaity or a capitalized title, or you can do something like Jake Paul does and act like he was doing stuff with Ninja and Fort Wayne. He's just spending his respect capital all the time. Yeah. It's like, but I'll be perfectly honest with my personal perspective. I don't care what you guys do. It's more interesting to me. I kind of take the gamer from Mars. He's another guy who takes a lot of criticism, but then I don't think deserves it. He is fascinated by the climb up the ladder, and I am too. I'm interested in, like, you know, you put 18,000 subs together. That's hard. It's hard to get 1,000 subs, and you probably know it better. And getting into that show, it's so I often wonder, and I don't know this. I'm asking you this, not knowing the answer. I often wonder, what are the rules? Are there any? Should there be any?
I guess the rules would be, don't lie to people. I mean, I can't really. I'm still pretty new to this game myself, so I'm still trying to figure things out. But the things that don't help, the things that people are always going to call you on, are if you lie to people, and if you do things that are sort of generally, you know, ethically or morally, you know, sort of either questionable or just downright wrong. And people are always like, the thing is though, whenever people do something that's wrong, like Jake Paul, for example, makes a thumbnail saying that he's donating what was it, $100,000 to his favorite,
something ridiculous to Ninja.
Yeah, some
he
ridiculous amount of money.
You know, like he needs it.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess it does get even worse when you talk about his audience. When I see $100,000 to my favorite Twitch streamer, I'm very skeptical of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really seem like $100,000 to your
It's almost satirical. It's so over the top.
Yeah.
It's beyond parody.
Yeah, but not to children. And this is something that I talked about in my video with Grant Rants, the Logan Paul YouTube dictator video. We talked about how to kids, this stuff isn't obvious. So you have to sort of be mindful of your audience. And PewDiePie, I think PewDiePie probably has a little bit of an older audience than he did maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
I didn't watch any of his shit 4 years ago, and now I watch his shit at least once a month. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. But even he is sort of like, he's careful not to like. It's not like you can do good things for 30 days a month, and then for the 31st you lie to your fans. Like there's some things that you can just never do, or that you just shouldn't do. And I think that we're seeing that more and more, where people are just getting called out on it whenever they do something that. And if you making bad content doesn't make you a bad person.
Sure. I hate that the most. I really did that one bugs me the most. Like if you know, like there's a guy I was Twitch streaming. There's only like 10 people in there, and there was a guy who was just hammering me over Brandon. Hammering me. I was like, well, I think, you know, Brandon looks at a mathematical way. So he games the algorithm? Well, not illegally. He's not breaking no rules.
No,
but
absolutely
yeah, it's just like, and it almost seems like there's this association with, like, I don't like what this person does. Therefore, he's fucking evil. I mean, Travos has essentially built damn near 1 million sub following over that ridiculous, childish, clickbaity premise. You know, it's just it's unbelievable to me. And like, how much outrage can you throw out there? Jake Paul did it again. Yeah, no shit. You know, it's really funny. But go ahead. I'll let you finish.
So when I made the Wild Spartans video, I wouldn't say that he's only, you know, I didn't want to make it seem like he was 100% innocent when I made the video. He was doing some things, like I did bring up some examples, like particularly when it comes to Zoella. Now, keep in mind, he's not the only one who does this, but he was being, it wasn't that he was necessarily being dishonest. I don't think that he was intentionally misleading his viewers, but he was misleading them by saying things that just weren't factually true. Like the one example that I brought up was the, Zoella, I don't think Zoella is a good person because I couldn't find any good things that she did on Google. Well, and then I showed myself Googling Zoella charity.
Yeah, it's like she's a philanthropist. There's no doubt about it.
And this is where you run into trouble. Okay. So when you're just focusing on gaming the algorithm and you're not focusing on what you're actually gaming the algorithm with, then you end up putting things out like that where it's poorly researched. You aren't writing things down. You aren't double checking to make sure that what you're actually putting out there, especially in commentary. I mean, if you're making a comedy video, like for example, Lele Pons, there's only so much that you can really bash her about. I mean, sure, it's god awful. It's the worst, some of the worst quote comedy unquote that I've ever seen. But it's not like the comedy's meant to like lie to people or something like, or there's not like a point being made with the comedy.
Yeah, you should try to change the world or anything. You know, I mean,
yeah, when people like that start saying, "I'm changing the world with my vlogs," I'm releasing a TV show every day with my vlogs, then it gets a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, I find that with commentary, you do have more of a responsibility to put more effort into it, and to really focus on what you're saying. Otherwise, you're going to end up with people who are either confused or misled, or just have a completely different idea of what you intend to tell to them, or maybe you just didn't know in the first place.
Yeah, but you know what? You have 100,000 sub channel, and you get something up first. You're going to cash in. So you're probably right. I mean, the race to first. I mean, it was so funny. I remember. I'm not going to name who was mad at him, but I didn't really care one way or another. I think within, I could be, if I got the time wrong, I think within, I want to say 4 hours of the beginning, the initial announcements, and I was on Twitter at the time. I was playing games. I was just kind of watching my feed roll of the dead body that Logan Paul put out. Cabos had a video out.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing that.
The outrage in the commentary community, the outrage in the commentary was quick and swift, but nobody said you rushed it, like, because that would have made them look like you're jealous.
Hypocrites.
But yeah, Cabos did the leg where he got it up nowhere. I don't know that he got anything wrong either. It was the typical like, I'm outraged.
Right.
Type of
that's
thing.
His
His style.
Yeah.
That's his shtick, and that's the thing. But I could see how the blood was boiling because they knew he struck gold, and there's a lot of pettiness among the commentary community. They're like cops that hate each other. They hate their partners. You know, that's like you guys are like kind of the cops of YouTube to keep it legit, and there is a place for it. But it's like me and you in a squad car together. You put tax under my seat and shit. That's like what's going on. Have you experienced some of the backstabbing? Because I've saw it at low levels. I'm talking 100, 200 subs when I started streaming regularly. Have you seen some of that on your end?
To me, against me personally, I've seen some people saying your Wild Spartans video isn't good because you weren't the first one to make it.
That's not backstabbing, though. You know what I'm talking about.
Right, but like people betraying me. Like you mean like betraying me?
Yes.
Not really. I don't really
I
get
can't
too
wait.
invest.
You can come on here. I can't wait till it happens to you. I'm so sick of it happening to fucking me. I'm waiting for you fucking kids.
I didn't really get involved with like the commentary community, which is what I guess people call the general group of people who upload commentary videos. Yeah, I didn't really get involved with groups of people like that until like maybe like 4 or 5 months ago.
Oh, okay. So you're brand dandy new.
Right, because I wanted to avoid that kind of stuff. I was like, look, I'm watching this stuff on Twitter go down. I'm seeing people get backstabbed, and I'm like, I do not need this.
You're gonna get it. It's coming. It's
but
gonna
at a
come.
certain point, I feel like that was a little arrogant of me. I feel like you have to get yourself involved with the people who it's like not looking at your coworkers. It's like I'm not gonna I'm gonna go to work with a blindfold on, and I'm going to avoid looking at anyone else who is in the same sphere as me. It just doesn't work. You need to be able to work with other people.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's like this thing. Like Kingslayer explained this to me. He goes. I remember when he was depressed about everything that was going on with Great and Leafy, and he says, it's fucking Game of Thrones. I let my guard down. And this is exactly what he said. He said, this is the way it works. And it was very simple. You collab with somebody. You say they snaked you, which is you actually snaking them. You take your audience and you go to the next level. And he goes, that's how it starts from the very bottom to the very top. Now, that's a little extreme, but there are so many examples of success stories with that exact formula. I think it's a valuable lesson, but it also make you fucking paranoid, and you can't even have any friends. It's really a thing, a weird thing to balance.
Oh yeah, like you do. I do know some YouTubers who have had friends. I have friends on YouTube who I've had from the very beginning. Rants is one. The Right Opinion, I'm good friends with him. I don't want to.
He could be trusted for sure.
Right. These are people who you sort of do get if either of them backstab me, I would be just shocked. Like there would be no way that I'd see that coming. Yeah. Because I know them pretty well.
I'd kill fucking Right Opinion. I'd fucking fly right over there with whatever fucking uptight, stuffy British place, and I'd beat him to death. No.
But the thing is, though, whenever you see people getting backstabbed, it's usually like a very surface level relationship. Something that it was like, you collab with me, I'll collab with you. Something like that.
That's true.
Where there wasn't really a whole lot invested there in the first place, where people didn't really have a whole lot in common. They were just sort of like, we're in this together. We might as well help each other out. And that's not a great way to. That's not a great foundation for, I guess, a YouTube friendship.
Sure.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that they actually care about you that much, and they could definitely just screw you over.
You know, it's funny, and that's how I've gotten myself in probably the most trouble. Exactly, like, oh wow, this guy was really nice to me a few times in a call. He's my friend, and then I end up kind of paying the price because I can get a pretty good read on people face to face, but maybe not so much on the internet. Right. Let's move on to the backstabbing, which is more my personal problem. Logan Paul is dictator. He did this with Rants. He did a good job. He did a good job with it as well. It's actually the bulk of it was his commentary.
Right.
Before I get into that though, why, in your opinion? And I remember Nick Cash said this, and I can't remember where I heard it. It might have been a Twitch stream. He said the Viners are coming, and they're going to change his platform, and it's going to suck. And that I'm talking months before I heard the word Jake Paul. And I think I was watching him stream League of Legends. And he said, they're coming, and it's going to change things. And why do you think that these Viners have connected so much with the perfect demographic and keep growing seemingly no matter what they do?
Well, keep in mind that not all the Viners are bad. Like
no, but you know what I'm talking about. Why did they connect more than our own people? Why like a lot of guys have been doing this for years. These people connected in ways that even iDubbbz couldn't. You know? Right.
No, exactly. Like I'm looking at people like Drew Gooden is a good example. Drew Gooden's a good example because he you look at it and see the type of vines that he was putting up, and then you look and see how he translated that to YouTube.
Yeah.
And I saw, and he even said this himself, where he was like, he just had so much more flexibility with YouTube. Honestly, even for people like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, I think that Vine was kind of they found it kind of creatively limiting for them. I think Drew Gooden recently just reached the same amount of Vine followers that he had before, which is like 407,000 or something like that. And I think the reason why they're connecting with audiences so well is because they have this experience with really being able to get people's attention. So when you have 7 seconds,
7 seconds, it really trains you. I didn't think of that.
Every second
it's
counts.
Fucking brilliant, kid. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like 7 seconds. Every second counts there. So if you come in with that mentality to YouTube,
I don't think this is fair. You're Asian. You're too smart. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
this stuff just kind of this stuff really interests me. This is the type of stuff.
Yeah, I can see that, and I can see you put some
Yeah.
thought into it. And I am joking around a little bit, but I do mean it. Why didn't I think of that? I mean, go ahead though. I really want to hear what you have to say.
It's like if you're given 7 seconds and then you have that mentality going into YouTube, then why wouldn't you be able to expand that? And
sure, more time. You know?
Yeah, exactly. If you have 20 minutes or 30 minutes, like the Logan Paul and Jake Paul vines, I mean not vines, vlogs, then you should be able to find a way to keep up that work. It's going to be harder to sort of expand it. But you think about Logan Paul. Logan Paul didn't get to where he is just with BS. He was able to really capture an audience, kids, their children, the people who this type of content appeals to are children. But he has this experience with being able to keep people engaged with the kind of content that he's making. And that has really benefited him. And that's why people like him. Like I hear, like my little sister tells me about how her classmates at school talk about Jake Paul as like, he's this hero. And that
in our world, that's like unimaginable. You know, he's
right. It's insane. Like if someone said that, you know, X YouTuber commentator with 100,000 subs was their hero, it would just seem ridiculous. But there's just completely different scopes of people, just completely different audiences that you're dealing with here.
Yeah, you're in a 13 to 17 year block, and it's
Logan Paul and Jake Paul and Lele Pons, all those people tapped into something while making very mediocre content. They were able to tap into something that just blasted them to where they are.
Do you think it's because, I mean, there's a lot of F-bombs, and when I was a kid, you know, MTV was edgy. There was a time, I swear to God. All right. But you didn't have F-bombs. They like walked right up to the door of that kind of stuff, or beeped it out, or you know, maybe the sexual talk got graphic, but never never to the point. Do you think it's because it's on YouTube, there's no FCC regulation, stuff like that, and they can actually deliver this stuff to these kids that other mediums simply cannot, because they will be held accountable? Do you think that's a part of it? Because, I mean, these guys, I mean, I personally don't give a fuck, because I'll tell my kid, you can't watch Logan Paul. But, you know, Logan Paul said he fucked Mrs. Claus. You know, and to me, it's funny. Yeah. But, absolutely. I mean, I could see definitely being aggravated if I have kids. Most people my age do not know who the fuck Logan Paul is. And, and it is, I just wonder if it's just by, ooh, he said fuck. Because for teenagers, that's powerful shit. Yeah.
Well, it feels like when you're with your older brother who, you're sort of your edgy older brother who swears with you and, you know, like goes around and like Logan Paul is that kind of that kind of credit. He's got like that kind of character where he's like the cool older brother who does cool things with his fans, and that's why he's always talking about his Mavericks and how great they are and how proud of them he is and how they're great people. So using language like that and the sexual innuendos and all of that stuff, like in his songs, I can ride your girl with no handlebars.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is that the parents just don't see it. Because when you talk about things like MTV, if you were watching something like that and then they said, someone swears and then your parents walk in, they see it, they're gonna like, all right, that's enough, turn off the TV. I mean, it really depends on the parents, but for the most part, this is the case where if there's something that's too raunchy or too profane, then the parents will take care of it. When you have YouTube, you usually have a kid who's watching on their phone, or their iPad.
This was more than 50% of the
they're cuddled
traffic
up
now
in the corner or something like that. The parents don't see it unless they go and they ask the kid, who's your favorite YouTuber? And I think kids are getting smarter about that, where they're like, if I tell my parents, like Jake Paul's, even to them, it seems a little questionable, which I think you're right is part of the attraction, where it's like, ooh, he's so edgy. He's and to be fair, this is a lot of what iDubbbz tapped into, where people are saying like, I can't believe that he's saying this type of stuff.
But I never thought that he was targeting anything below 17 years old at any time. I never thought. I thought it was college level. I thought he was always thought that iDubbbz was targeting college kids. I never thought that
he does say, like in one of his videos, he flat out says that his content is targeted towards people 18 and up, and like certainly some of his, like especially his bad unboxings. That's like YouTube only lets people who say at least that they're 18 and up watch it, but and I think Logan Paul even said something like, "Oh, my videos are made for people who are 21 and up," which obviously is just a sort of a safe face type. It's not.
It's a joke.
It absolutely isn't.
I mean, who are you fucking kidding?
Like, I think that even though iDubbbz, his content is very attractive to people of all ages, but yeah,
it's true.
It does connect a lot with people who are young. Like you go on the iDubbbz subreddit, it's just like the cringiest thing. You see some of the posts that people are making, and how they're trying to be edgelords too, and they're saying like all this horrible stuff, and I'm like, okay, but the thing is, it lacks all of the humor that iDubbbz.
The
character of iDubbbz. Like you sort of see him like he is kind of like a character. You see him in like his vlogs, and he sort of he really comes across as like just this very funny person.
Yeah.
Whereas with someone like Logan Paul, he doesn't do it in a way that like people
it's just everything's shock value. It's not like a joke or anything that's constructed or anything like that. And I look, I'm not. It's pot kettle black. Most of the stuff I do is shocking. I just try to say something that is gonna like, holy shit, I can't believe he said that. I can't believe that came out of
I think everyone wants to. Everyone's looking for that factor of in their videos where people are going to say, "Oh, I can't believe that he said that," or "I didn't think I didn't even think of it that way." Where people will sort of they'll hear something that they weren't expecting. I think that's what makes that's what makes good videos. It doesn't always equate good videos in the case of like Logan Paul, but it works and it gets people to watch your stuff and to keep watching because they want to see what you're going to do next.
Your video, Logan Paul. I mean, you heard you got some. You felt like that a good portion of your fan base. You said this off and down. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did not get the Logan Paul, the new YouTube dictator video. Did you? Is that because you meant it literally, or did you not mean it literally?
It was an exaggeration.
You and
for
Grant
sure.
did sort of go the cult leader route, which is that's serious accusation in the sense that it could be construed as being a bit over the top. What were you going for in that video?
I think that there were two problems with it. I thought it was a genuinely good video. Honestly, I think it was one of my better videos.
I think you guys did a great job on it. There's no doubt. But I'm just holding I'm holding your feet to the fire, sir.
No, it's good that I'm able to talk about this because I think the two problems were either people didn't understand the connections. They didn't understand what I was talking about at all because they didn't really understand these things. Like we were talking about people like Mussolini and Stalin and Lenin and people that you're not going to hear about unless you've taken like a history course. You sort of, you've got like these communist memes where they come up, but that's like their only exposure.
Like, and it's funny because I got some of the symbolism and I think I even know one of the books because I go through a phase. I'm really into crime.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I every so often I go to Scientology, and there's a lot of Scientology exposed videos on YouTube, and I love them. They're titillating because they're creepy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they're titillating creepy. And then in the course of time, they usually interview psychologists, and they said what constitutes a cult. You were making, I can't give you any like specific text, but you were making very direct correlations with cult-like behavior. And I've done that before too, and I think I was talking to Dave, and Dave said like, hold it back. Are you saying literally that he's, or is he just really just being charming and a good salesperson?
I think what we were trying to do basically was talk about the sort of similarities. We weren't trying to say he is YouTube's Stalin. We weren't like, obviously we put that in the YouTube's dictator, or I forget exactly what we called it. We were trying, like, the whole video started, the idea of the video started where I texted Grant Rants and I was like, do you think Logan Paul has a cult of personality? Just based on what I was seeing, I was like, I was looking at, especially his merch sales. And this is something I brought up in my Jacksonville's video where I talked about how he assigns like an identity to the Maverick, where the Maverick is, they're unique. They have all these good qualities. They're going to change the world. And how he defines it on screen. And I was like, this is the kind of stuff that Stalin might have done, where he'd tell his workers, the proletariat, the people, the workers, the true workers for for communism. These people are people who exemplify these attributes. So it's like you bring them into this fold. You tell them that they mean something. But really, you're just doing it to exploit them, and I think that was
But don't I do that to a certain extent too? That I have a community. There's a certain I have to pay a Patreon fee to where I spend a lot of time in the Patreon chat. I call my fuckheads. There is a sense of community, a sense of tribalism. Is that even not necessary when, like, is that, I don't think I engage in the cult of personality, but I certainly use my personality to sell my product. Is there anything inherently wrong with that, or is there a difference between the way Logan Paul would do it and somebody like me?
I think that there's a definite difference because Logan Paul just takes it to the extreme. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a community. There's nothing wrong with making people feel like they're part of something when they're looking at videos. But there is something wrong with doing that if your only goal, if you're making it very clear that your only goal is to get something out of them. In the case of Logan Paul, he wants people to buy his merch.
Sure.
He doesn't actually think that, like, these are kids we're talking about. Sure. These aren't people who are necessarily going to change the world just by being a maverick. He never really clarifies how you're going to change the world by being a maverick, which is one of the problems with it. And I think that that's the main problem with Logan Paul, where he doesn't really care if you actually feel like if you're actually doing anything or if you're actually getting something out of his content, as long as he's making money off of it.
Making money. It's quite obvious. Yeah. And I tell you something else, and I think this is just because it's internet celebrity is a new frontier. I mean, these are two kids that said that they're both going to be the first social media billionaires. And I honestly I said that question to put you on your heels, but I think you're right. I think I think the difference is. And I lost my train of thought, and I had something really fucking smart to say, and you might even thought I was fucking Asian. God damn it! It just slipped my old answer.
I'm sure it'll come back.
Yes. No, I do think you're onto something. When you say to that, it is a little different. Oh, here it did come back to me. There is a corporation on mainstream television that would get away with selling their product in that manner. Not one. If McDonald's, God forbid, said that you were part of something greater, if you eat our cheeseburgers, there would be all sorts of consumer groups that would come and say, no way. Now, I mean, they certainly can't roll back his speech. He's got First Amendment practice to do it, but there would be such an upswell, an uprising of detractors and criticism that he would have to change the way that he delivered. They would have to change. Logan Paul and a lot of us don't have that problem. Because the internet is a new frontier and we don't have the controls, which in some ways it's great. Yeah. And in other ways it's bad because you get somebody like this that I don't think it's fair to call him as a dictator. And I don't even know that he's smart enough to consciously do it. But there are certain, I think you're onto something. Bitch. There are, wow, $20, Aiden Projects, 10 for Tommy, 10 for Willie. Really proud of you. Aiden Project, thank you so much.
Thank you, Aiden Projects.
But I'm keeping the fucking money like I kept yours, you prick. No, I'll split it with you. I think that I think that this is sort of a new frontier, and we don't hold people accountable. Unfortunately, when we have guys like Logan Paul, I like the Wild West. I think we're also seeing it come to an end because these guys are so motivated to do absolutely anything. Yeah. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
No, I do agree with you. I mean, but think about what would happen if you or I tried to do what Logan Paul is doing. Think about if you.
Nobody would buy. Everybody would laugh at me.
I don't have like a fan base name yet. But if I said, if you buy my Willie One stuffed sheep animals, then you're going to be part of something great, they would be like, he has to be joking. The kids, they don't see through it the way that we do.
I do deliver my products in that way. I tell people they're going to get laid if they buy my stuff, which is but it's satirical,
right? But
this guy's really doing it, you know. And I wonder if that's it's just a satire, you know.
No, it does kind of change depending on the context. But when it comes to Logan Paul, they just don't get these. They don't really understand it the same way. They don't get these jokes. Yeah. Even if Logan Paul said, "Oh, the whole Maverick thing is a joke," even if he came right out and said that, first of all, that would destroy his brand entirely. If people didn't actually think that being a Maverick actually changed you, but also he doesn't really market it that way. And the way that when you're dealing with a younger audience, you have to be more responsible than that. Yeah.
No, it is. It is repulsive that the lengths that he goes. It's even and I'm pretty much, I'm pretty much. I'm libertarian. You do what you got to do to get your money. That's one of the reasons I have to defend Brendan a little bit. I appreciate his ways. I mean, one of the reasons it does seem that some of the most successful people on YouTube that I've seen, and I've run into a lot of young guys. I've been around millionaires like Leafy. They all have this sort of gamer aspect to them. And I think it's also a lot of the reasons you see the backstabbing and some of the stuff we're talking about before. I don't see you as Willie One. I see you as a opponent and we're playing this fucking video game where you're allowed to stab each other in the back, but it's real people. And I think there's sort of we're sort of like, it doesn't seem real to even us. Some of our celebrity or fame or fan bases, it's not even real. I mean, do you tell your parents that you have a fan base? And you legitimately do with 18,000 subs, as small as it might be, but you legitimately do. If you like, I just tell people sell T-shirts. I don't tell them anything else because they don't believe it. Now, maybe in your bubble, you can say I got 18,000 subs. I tell somebody I have 18,000 subs, they'd be like, what does that mean?
Yeah. I mean, I try to avoid talking to people like in real life about my YouTube channel. It's sort of, you're right. There is this sort of aspect of like, you know, everyone is sort of like an obstacle to get over, and like you or I, we are these people who need to sort of fight each other, and the only way we're going to advance is by.
And I don't think that happens if we have to go in the same office every day.
Right. Exactly. You know? But I think that the main problem is that people don't really see each other, like they're not able to separate the YouTuber from the person behind the YouTube channel.
That's true.
And the YouTube channel themselves. That's one of the reasons why, if you notice, I didn't actually address Wild Spartans by his real name at all in the video.
Sure.
Because I wasn't talking about the person Brandon. I was talking about the channel.
No, that's good. Yeah. That was good thinking of you.
I was like, I don't want to do this in a way that people think, and obviously people still got the idea. They're like, oh, why are you going after this guy?
Oh, well, that's going to be you're milking it. You made one video. You're milking it, or you're just doing this for attention. All these, they're not even, to me, they're not even criticisms. They're misdirections to get you off from doing it. Did you speak to Wild Spartans? Did he?
I did. We had a 2-hour conversation.
Oh, really? How'd it go?
Yeah. It was good. I don't know
without revealing anything personal, of course. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, I don't know how specific he wants me to get with it, but we did have I thought it was a very productive conversation. I thought that we did sort of come away with a good understanding and that we did actually make progress. Yeah.
I approached him and Alex, who I both like, and I think they like me. I don't know in this world. But I was furious with them. Not from a personal standpoint. I don't, you know, you guys are all saying context matters with Booty Pipe. How come it doesn't matter for H3H3 just this past October? and I thought they didn't think hard enough.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They didn't think they think, and I told them because wild Brandon. And I told them, I was like, look, I'm really going after you. I'm not going to attack you personally, but I'm really going after you because I think you guys are dead fucking wrong and not looking at the same picture or applying the same standard that you did to Poods. All right, and I have to be honest with you. Both of them, I thought handled it rather well once they were approached.
Once they were actually called out,
yeah.
Which is a big problem with the commentary community, especially with the people who are in that sort of
because you don't know if you're getting called out to hurt you, or you don't know you're actually called out, and you could always hide behind, well, it's just criticism, you can't take criticism. But it might be, I'm trying to fuck your fucking channel up, you know? And we're supposed to be friends. So it is a weird sort of balance, you know?
Yeah. I think, I'm not really sure, like I got maybe like 10 comments on this on my video. One of the things that I was careful to do was I paraphrased the sort of the thesis of the Jinx content cop into my video, into the intro. The intro it wasn't exactly the same, but I did use the same it had the same purpose, which was you have these YouTubers where whenever they make a bad video, they've gotten either so desensitized to the criticism or they just don't have people around them who are going to give them honest criticism. So here's your video. Here's the video where I actually lay down exactly the problems. And I thought I did it in a pretty fair way, and I thought that I didn't want to destroy his channel. Like I said that was one of the first things that I said. I said I don't want to destroy his channel. I don't want him off the platform. Unlike some of the other people who've made videos on him, I do actually want to see him improve because hey, if there's another YouTuber who I can watch who's making good content, then I'll subscribe to him. Like, that's only good for the platform.
I mean, I'm sure you mean that. But if I hear that, and I'm a YouTuber, I think you're full of fucking shit, dude.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah. I mean, it's very difficult, and I'm not saying you're being disingenuous, but I hear that, and it's just like, yeah, get the fuck out of here.
It's gotten to the point. It's kind of gotten to the point where people say things like that, but words are just words, and you're never going to really be able to. Like, there's only so much that you can get through to people.
Yeah, that's true. No, you're right.
And we just, I mean, he's gotten so many videos made on him that I don't blame him. Like one of the videos I showed him, I showed.
Did he care? You think he cared about them? Did it bother him? Because I don't. It's like because Brandon takes so much shit at this point. I would tell you, there's very big YouTubers out there that are terrified. Guys, you would never think that somebody would make a video on them. Right. I think Brandon has to be so shell shocked by now. You know, I mean, I was that it's just like, oh yeah, another video on me. Fuck it. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew that it was going to do well. I didn't know it was going to do this well, though.
Really?
And it was also it also couldn't have come at a worse time for him because he hadn't uploaded in a couple of days. So his subs were already, his daily sub growth was already pretty low. And then with this on top of that, imagine people just seeing that video and they're like, oh, he's right. And then they go to his channel, they unsubscribe. It's really, you know, it was really poor timing.
Did you give him a minus for the day?
I'm sorry, what?
Did your video give him a minus?
I think if you look on Social Blade, you'll see like maybe like -4, -3 for like 2 days or something like that.
Yeah, big deal. He got it back in a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like you look at his channel now; he's doing just fine. Yeah. So,
but you know that's the gamer aspect of it. I can put him in a minus, and it's like we're playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, that's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
But it's what you want to do because you know you're getting an impact by doing that. I don't necessarily want anybody to lose their platform or anything like that or things like but I do want to have an impact because I want it to mean something. And one of the ways is unfortunately that is measured is on Social Blade. It's such a weird thing. And it does lead to areas where YouTubers can sort of afford to be duplicitous about maybe some of their intentions. Wow, we went the whole minute. I thought it was going to. Hey, you guys want to give Willie One a call or ask him a question? Discord's in the description box below. I also did not put your channel in there, and I'm going to apologize for that at the time in the description box. And we're going to do that because I want everybody. And if you could type in the chat and let him know, because that could help too. And I'd really guys check this guy. He is very thoughtful. And another thing I was very impressed with you by, it's easy to do it edited. You just did it live. Do you realize that? You just did it live. So
thank you.
And then also, yeah, you just did. Well, I did find it. You know, this kid thinks before he speaks, and it's not a trait that I'm not very good at it.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
When, you know, like just sort of off the cuff remarks are a lot more funny. They're a lot more entertaining.
Yeah,
but also they're like generally when people sort of speak what they think in the moment, then you get more of a, I guess, a live response.
Oh, and by the way, we got demonetized.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Oh well.
I noticed Jake Paul gets me demonetized because I knew we were going to talk about Jake Paul, so obviously I threw him in there.
Right.
But I just I noticed that one gets me demonetized a lot. If anything, Jake Paul gets me hit, or Logan Paul. Maybe
why Jake Paul though? Like, what has Jake Paul done that was so?
Jake Paul has. I mean, his brother really. I mean, he was the bad kid, and Logan was the smart one.
Right.
And now it's just almost reversed.
Yeah, like that was one. I mean, that was the Logan Paul video. Unfortunately, we released that the day before the suicide force. So, there were a lot of people who were like, "Why didn't you talk about the suicide?"
Oh my god!
No,
because I didn't make it fucking an hour ago, stupid.
Yeah, and we said, like, one of the first things we said in the video was Logan Paul has avoided major controversy, which is why he's doing better than Jake Paul, and that just couldn't be. Any less
that's why I didn't bother to look at the date because I thought, well, he wouldn't be much longer, you know? Because that's what I remember. I remember thinking that in the video. I was like, well, yeah, boy, when was this made? Oh, and that was like the day of. That is so funny. Willie One's YouTube channel is in the description box below. We got waiting to call. Oh, this guy's a real asshole. I'll put him on though. Colossal said inadvertently, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hello, Colossal. What do you want, you jerk?
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, maybe no, it might.
Hello? Call me.
I think he's. Can you hear me or not, you dick?
Call me. Are you there?
Yeah, he can hear me, you prick. Kowalski, you're on the air.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Yeah, earlier there was mention of the Jake Paul video, recent one, which had, of course, Ninja in the title, thumbnail. He does not actually feature in the video, and he did not give any money to Ninja. It was, in fact, giving money to 2 members of Team 10.
Yeah, he gave, but no, we're aware of that. We clickbaited it and what have you. And we're well aware of that. What are you fucking autistic?
Yes, I am actually.
That's right.
Didn't see that coming.
Kowalski. Yeah, he's way like I remember like when this whole thing with Tommy NC broke, when the whole thing for me started getting rolling. He's like, well, he's at the right end. The argument was he's at the right end of the spectrum where he can be goofed on, and I was getting explained by all these fucking YouTube doctors. So I've decided to embrace that way of thinking when it comes to Kowalski. What do you think of that?
Oh, fuck off! Just. If they're anyone on the spectrum, don't give a shit about the spectrum. Just
no, I don't know. No, dude, you're wittier than me, dude. There's got to be a moral line with this stuff, man.
I'm not wittier than you.
You're very witty, dude. You're very witty. You're very quick. You're very witty.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah. Now get the fuck out of here. You piss me off. You fucking autistic punk.
Okay, love you, Tommy.
Yeah, I love you too. Ah, shit. Where else were we? Mr. Radiance. Mr. Radiance, you're on the air. You missed out. Let's put your buddy on. Rants, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Rants.
What's up? You know what I'm gonna do?
Hold on, I gotta pause the stream or whatever. Yo, Wooly, what up? Just wanted to say we're all so proud of you, and I, it's really glad to see you on an interview and stuff.
Well, you're glad to be on a fucking 30 sub channel that's probably gonna be 29 in fucking next month. I think. Thank you. I should thank you, Grant.
It's almost twice the size of Wooly's channel.
No, so I don't think it'll be that way much longer. I called Turkey Tom by June on 10K, and he kicked that. And I think once Turkey Tom gets his shit straight, I think he'd be well on his way to 20 and 50. After that, and I have no doubt if you guys, when you guys off of school, because that seems to be when you really got to pump out your content.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's. I mean, school hasn't really. Honestly, a lot of it's been like I just haven't really motivated myself to really come up with video topics. Like I even said at the end of the Wild Spartans video, I can be releasing more than once a month, and now we're almost at 2 months since the last video.
Is Grant is Grant your close friend? Are you guys best friends? You live close to each other?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Is he a dick?
Well, no, we don't live close to each other. We live in schools.
Is he taking himself way too seriously? And when are you gonna backstab him?
Oh yeah, I've been planning that one for a while.
If anyone takes himself not seriously, it's me. I don't take myself seriously at all, and that's very important for me. That's
absolutely true.
Are you guys both in the smart classes together in high school?
Yeah,
we're both. Me and he's a little bit younger than I am.
Okay.
No, I just sort of like we met each other playing pickup basketball one time, and just hit it off.
I destroyed him, by the way.
Now we make videos together sometimes.
Did he? He looks like more. I got no offense. He looks like more of the athlete than you do.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I look like I look like more of the athlete.
Well, okay, sir.
It's all focused in my core.
Is it core? Do you have like a fucking John Stockton shot?
Willie might be a little bit taller than I am, but I'm definitely a lot bigger than he is.
You got beat by an Indian guy in basketball. What the fuck's the matter with you, man?
We're both actually.
That's like a black guy getting fucking beaten one-on-one by a white guy. It's like worse actually, because at least Larry Bird could shoot.
Yeah.
I definitely have more basketball fundamentals than Willie. I just want to make that important. And if I have to make a video about it, then I will.
We're gonna do a rematch then.
Like, well, you fundamentally lost according to Willie. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. Anyway, so just like it's cool to make videos with him. He's kind of the only reason I have any subscribers now. I think of it.
Yeah.
Because I have
we did benefit. To be fair, it was mainly because of the video, the Logan Paul video. Since I put that in the channel trailer. People were seeing that, and now they're going over to your channel, subscribing. Oh, by the way, congrats! Everyone, congratulate Grant Rants on 1,000 subs. He recently hit
Congratulations, Grant! It's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
No, I mean that.
I'm gonna make a video.
I had 1,000 subs when I got picked up when things rolled for me. I know how difficult it is. It took me 3 years. Of course, I wasn't doing trending topics and shit, but I mean. No, I think it's don't. I really and I mean this to the audience too, because I got a lot of wannabe YouTubers and what have you. And that's nothing wrong with being a wannabe YouTuber. Fucking the stupidest thing you could ever do is buy into this try hard shit. Man, always try hard.
God. Yeah.
Doesn't fucking bother Wild Spartans. Kidding, Brandon. No, always try hard. No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should take these milestones lightly. Just because your buddy's got 10K. No, I don't. I know. Yeah. And just the way it works.
Yeah, I know. I just need to, I mean, I only just started making good thumbnails for my videos.
Yeah, that's
I didn't even realize that was important. So I always had like...
I'm gonna get to your buddies. I'm gonna get to some of my other fuckheads, and then I'm gonna call it a day.
Yeah, Willie, I'll call you later. Call me after you're done. Don't wait too long. Bye.
Okay.
Jeez.
Should have nuked him.
I can't believe he wasn't obnoxious enough.
That's true.
Gay retard, spit it quick.
Oh, hello, Tommy.
Yes. Talk to Willie One. It's not about me.
Hi.
Hello, Wooly. I have seen your Wild Spartans video.
Oh yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was pretty good criticism, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I have AIDS.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was that
That's the bomb. Fuck him.
There we go.
Mr. Did I already put him in? Mr. Ranian. Colossal's a jerk off. There's all these YouTubers are coming in. Grant Rants. Did I put Radiance in already? Radiance, you're on the air. I think he's going to blow it twice. And I was going to put, and Symmetrix, you're on the air. You're the last caller. Congratulations.
I think the thing with the Jake Paul and Logan Paul, I don't think Jake's the good guy now. I think they're both just terrible. Like, they're seen as worse.
No, I just mentioned, I was more speaking from a public relations or the way they may be viewed now, as opposed to the way they were viewed back in August. I think that's what I was speaking of.
Yeah,
I know they're
okay.
Yeah,
I think Jake Paul to me is
like after Logan did something bad, everyone thought Jake was a good guy now.
Yeah. I think there's some aspect that's true. Would you agree with that, Willie One? There's like that Jake is okay, the dumber, nicer
perception.
one.
I think that's a perception, but I think Jake Paul has always been the less competent one. He's always been kind of like this idiot who just goes around YouTube doing stupid idiot things, and then like I can never, whenever I see Jake Paul do something bad, it's hard to look at it and then take him seriously. Usually when it comes to Logan Paul though, he does seem a little more, I guess, sinister. Like I feel like Logan Paul is a worse human being.
I honestly didn't think that. The first indication I remember was in Birmingham, in the UK, and the first indication I got to that is when, and I believed him, when I thought that he may have been the better person and just the younger brother's just a sociopath and completely out of control. But when FaZe Banks said that he fucking threatened me, and I'm like, oh, that's where they got it.
When I'm sorry, Logan Paul was this?
No,
Logan
Logan actually went, we're gonna fuck you up. right to face bank. I believe every word he said. Yeah, we're gonna fuck you up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the other thing. We're gonna expose your girlfriend. And he just went on and said, "Come bring it." And pretty much disarmed them. I remember I was in the UK when that happened, and I was just like, "Geez, what a psychopath!" You know,
that sounds
like he's a douchebag, but he's not a psychopath. You know,
right. You know? It doesn't sound out of line with Logan Paul's personality at all. I mean, like H3H3, the H3 podcast. Ethan talked about how he ran into Logan Paul in like a party or something. Did you hear about that?
No. Maybe not.
He ran into Logan Paul at a party, and he made he was standing next to like a Lamborghini or something like that. I don't exactly know the whole. I don't remember the story completely, but he was standing next to a Lamborghini. Then Ethan says to Logan Paul, "What color is that?" and points to the Lamborghini, and he says that Logan Paul looked at him with like the most menacing, like
I wouldn't want to fuck with him. I think
I would never do that, honestly. Like, man, I can't believe that he did that though.
Well,
like, that is
I tell you something.
I
saw on TMZ, and somebody walked up to him, you know, and I think I got a pretty good sense on who's going to hit you, and who's not going to hit you.
Yeah.
And usually it's the person that's talking the least. And I had one of these TMZ reporters, or he's just good at making menacing looks, which I'm pretty good at too. He said, "Do you think you deserve a certain chance?" And there's this he just kind of picks his head up and he looks and he goes, "Everybody deserves a second chance." And it was almost a whisper. And it was almost a whisper. And I saw exactly what you saw. And probably what he said, like it was almost like, and then he started looking at his surroundings, almost as if check, is there any way I can hurt this guy and get away with it? Like, I mean, look, it's me projecting, to be honest with you. But that's what I saw, and I saw that from the people because the people I grew up with taught me that, and I know that's the look to stay away from.
Yeah,
and I got the same. I got the same impression too. It's all subjective. It could be tinfoil Tommy stuff, whatever. But I got the same vibe. The other one was on the H3 podcast that I thought was the most interesting. That he said, and I thought it was bullshit at the time. Ethan said these guys are just constantly competing with each other.
Yeah, no,
and they hate each other.
Yeah, they do.
They hate
honestly,
each other. I mean, how could you use your own blood, your flesh and blood? They're only with each other because they have to be. Their relationship with each other is like my relationship with YouTuber that. They're only talking to me because they're talking to me, and I'm only talking to them because they're talking. Like the guys I have to follow, I have no relationship with. I mean, we all do it. We're all guilty of it. You know, we're all guilty of it to some extent. Colossal Crazy told me that years ago. But I mean, that's their relationship. That's their. That's all flesh and blood, and I get that vibe. I guess we're on the same page here.
No, have you heard of this guy Jason Sundays? This vlogger, he only has like 3,000 subs. He stopped posting a while ago. Grant Rants made a good video on him, where we were looking at his videos and we were like, this guy, he lives in Hollywood, the Hollywood Hills, same general area as Logan Paul, and he'll just sort of tag along with Logan Paul's vlogs.
Yeah,
and you can see like Logan Paul is just like looking at this kid, and like some of the things that this Jason Sundays guy would do were just ridiculous. Like he would go, he went with Logan Paul to like this pharmacy or something, and then there were like these two girls who found Logan Paul, and they said, "Oh, can you take a picture with us?" So Logan Paul hands his phone to Jason Sundays and says, "Can you please take a picture of me with these two girls?" Right? So what Jason Sundays does is he takes out the phone, switches it to the front-facing camera, and takes a picture of himself.
I like
what a legend! Like,
Who's he? I like. I want to interview him. That's fucking funny.
Unfortunately, he hasn't uploaded in a long time. I think he may have.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, but it was hilarious, and you should have seen the look on Logan Paul's face. Like he was just like not having it at all.
No, like I would have laughed my ass off if somebody did that to me. You know, that's hysterical. Like,
I'm actually surprised.
Like imagine they did that, and then like I would like if I were me, I would like, who the fuck do you think you are, Tommy C? You know, and then just kind of laugh the whole thing off and take the legit picture.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't get that. Those guys, they don't strike me as regular people.
They definitely aren't.
Strange.
Yeah.
It's too bad that we didn't get to talk about. I wanted to talk about your personal life. I wanted to hear about your parents beating you to get good grades. That was much
that would
more
have been a 0-second clip, but sure.
Yes,
for next time for sure.
Next time, maybe we'll have you on as guest host next time. When I'm going to put you in charge of Jake Paul because you seem to have very good insight on Jake Paul. When I do, I guess the only thing I want to talk about, and this is for me personal, I can't stand talking about this fucking guy. He fucks up so often. It's not that interesting. It's the same type of shit.
Oh God.
And I don't think it helps. And I'm not interested because it's not my age group. I like the old days when everybody cut commentary videos on each other, and that was fascinating, engaging. And these guys seem like foreigners here. They don't feel. It doesn't even feel the same. And that's why I brought up the blind question. It's just it's not as fun. It's not as fun as and then even Drama Alert's not as fun as it used to be. Because
any of these stories that show up in the news, like Logan Paul videotaping a dead person in a suicide forest, or Jake Paul terrorizing his neighbors, those aren't nearly as interesting as like the other some of the other stories that you hear about, like some of the more finer, I guess, more nuanced stories. But the reason why they show up in the news is because they're so easy. It's so easy for anyone to see. This is messed up. Logan Paul's in a suicide forest. He's not taking suicide seriously. It's clearly messed up, which is why that story, the media just took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like rice gum, for example, like Items making a video on rice gum, you're never going to see that in the news because it wasn't even
trending when it came out. It wasn't even trending.
Yeah. Even though Items is like this very high profile figure, and rice gum is too. It's something that takes a lot more attention and focus, and people just aren't really interested in that anymore.
I guess so. I don't know. I like when no fuckers got in a fight with this guy. It has changed. And it's actually led me. There are some good things. It's led me to stuff that that I wouldn't normally be doing. I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this guy. It's going to get less hits, but at least I'm keeping it fresh in my area. Symmetrics, you have anything else? And I have to thank you. And I'm putting on the screen. This is Symmetrics' work on screen. We have a new shop on the point. The official romantic Andy Warski shirt. It's got the Mad Gum Asian feel. No offense. Condoms. Get your condom shirt today in the description box below. Asian feel, as Andy Warski put it, and these are his condoms. And maybe you would be kind enough to leave them on during your next sexual encounter. Symmetrics, thanks so much for making that for me. And do you have anything else to say before we go?
No, for sure, man. It was a blast making that stuff, man.
All right, man.
I'll hear a meme on the show, and I'm like,
good stuff. Yeah, well, I'll keep flipping you a buck or two, but not that much because I'm broke. I'll talk to you later.
Oh, that's fine.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
All right.
Willie One, does it embarrass you that you're such a fucking thoughtful expert when it comes to this stupid YouTube drama?
I remember...
We're like Star Trek geeks. I mean, it's getting sad.
I remember my brother told me, like, when I was watching Top Gear, and the whole thing of like before they ruined it anyway.
Yeah, right, I know what you mean.
The Top Gear with Clarkson, and then he was like, I can't believe that you like this kind of stuff. It's just like it's so over the top, and it's clear like these people are so stupid. Like, how do you enjoy this? And I'm like, just because it may be like easy to like pick apart, or maybe. I don't know. It almost feels like it's more fun, and you have more flexibility with this kind of stuff. Like there's more that you can talk about, I guess, when it comes to making videos. Because if something is too complicated, then I think I would probably make more mistakes. But if something is just so simple,
I can always hide behind. It's Shock Jock Show. I'm a big Stern fan. I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate you being on. Again, I wish I could have talked about your parents beating you, but I want everybody to go give Willie One a chance and sub his channel. I think you can see he's a really, really bright kid, and he made this interview very fascinating for me, one and all. And we're going to be doing this every so often, and we're going to interview some smaller guys. And
Great.
But I expect you to get big real soon, and I totally appreciate you being on the show. That's all we got for today. Thank you, Willie One. Thanks everybody else for being on. Thank you for calling in. Sorry I didn't get to your right opinion, but it's time for me to go. See you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. Peace.
Almighty infinite, independent excellence, devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist, fake identities. Okay, you cool with Jason Bourne, running with these Wolverines. Okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones. Bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to Here's a headlock.
Hey, you there?